I basically have been doing some research, and I've recently just taken another personality test that I found to be the very best ones. You know, if you're struggling between two different types and you can't be sure of which one you are, this test will fully differentiate which one you are. It's on a site called michaelcallows.com. The link will be down below, and I think he's like some kind of coach or MBTI expert, and it's very interesting. I recommend you actually take the time. Like, I don't like reading this kind of stuff initially, just like to do the test and know the answer, but it's actually very interesting to look into why you can't be two different types. You just can't be. So something that it says is the truth is that a T does have some F in them, but actually everyone has 4 different dimensions, so and 4 cognitive functions. So for example, an ENTP has the dimensions ENTP, and then they also have the cognitive functions extroverted intuition, introverted feeling, introverted thinking, extroverted feeling, and introverted sensing. And even though there's no F in ENTP, they still use an F-based cognitive function. And I think that's really, really important to remember. And I found this test to be really, really, really good. And the way it kind of works is it gives you examples, and rather than you putting a marker that you're saying that I am definitely this thing or I'm definitely not this thing or somewhere in between, it actually takes the functions, so for example introverted thinking, extroverted thinking, and will give you a question based on that, and one side will be extroverted thinking, one side will be introverted thinking. Like, it doesn't tell you which one it is. So this is really, really good for like somebody who really doesn't have a clue about the functions, or even if they do have some clue about the functions, and it has them on both like extremes, and then you put either you don't know, or you somewhat, or you're definitely for each one, and that makes it able to differentiate between the two things, and you cannot be like somewhere in between two types. So it's basically saying, and something interesting and a conclusion that I've made myself is that the hardest one that I had, that I kind of didn't really understand when I was answering, even when examples were given, was FI and FE. And because I'm an INTP and it is my inferior function, my feeling function is extroverted feeling, it's my inferior function. That's why I scored like 5 on that and 4 for FI, is because I don't fully understand that, because it is a super unconscious thing that only comes out when I'm feeling stressed, and it makes a lot of sense because, you know, I felt quite stressed several periods of time in my life, and that's when I was in that place with my feelings a lot. So that's why I found it really difficult to decide which one that I was and which one I felt was me. And then not only does it go into examples, it then goes into job families, and then it goes into what I think is sort of like whether you're an E or an I or something like that, like an N or an S. And it literally goes into that as well. And so you just pick the description that suits you more, and you can click 2 things on one is 3, and one is you can click up to 4 things, and then from that it gives you a whole points system. And so basically it says like, for me it says INTP 81 points. My next one is not INFP, so I thought I was an INFP before, but the one that is next is ENTP. That's my second, and that's like likely one, and that's 76 points. So, you know, there's quite a few points different. And then the third one is the INFP, and then INTJ, and it goes down. But INFP has got 51 points. So I found it as a very, very precise, accurate test, and I would recommend it for anybody who's struggling to determine their type. And yeah, so I'm going to leave a link down below so you can check it out, but I've just got so much more to look into now because of this. There's so much more information on this website, so I highly recommend it.